Hello, it's May 21st, 1981. Tonight, in our special report, we will be looking back at the attitudes towards rock since 1962. The new rock movement in England was not widely accepted at first, but with time it became the most popular genre out there. Teens seemed to get naturally high from it, parents hated it, and the media thrived on it. The British rock movement began to take shape in 1962, with the Beatles emerging as one of the world's most popular bands. This new type of music was increasingly popular with the young people and would continue to evolve with the youth of England. However, the Beatles were not popular with everyone. Due to the comment made by John Lennon, the Beatles are more popular than Jesus, which caused mass boycotts of Beatles music. Even with the boycotts, the Beatles dominated the British rock scene, but would soon be overtaken by the Rolling Stones. In October of 1964, the Rolling Stones would play on The Ed Sullivan Show, introducing a new, heavier type of rock. From October of 1964 up until this day, the Rolling Stones have held constant as one of the most popular bands in the world. Although the Stones were once one of the most popular bands of all time, they were also disapproved by much of the elder population of Britain. Many British citizens believed that the long-haired look and the loud sound of the Rolling Stones was disgraceful to the people of Britain. Bands like The Who, Pink Floyd, and Led Zeppelin faced similar difficulties, but dominated the British charts nonetheless. By the early 70s, rock music took a darker turn with the emergence of Black Sabbath and heavy metal. When people heard this music, they were frightened. However, the music would grow to become its own genre, heavy metal, which was very popular. Through the early 1970s, The Who, Led Zeppelin, and the Rolling Stones stayed at the top of the rock charts until the 1973 release of The Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd, which put Pink Floyd at the forefront of British rock culture. Right away, the people of Britain caused The Dark Side of the Moon to become one of the highest-selling albums of all time. By 1976, the rock genre began to change once more with when the Sex Pistols introduced early punk rock music. The attitudes of the band inspired people to think rebelliously and stray from common thought. As rock continued to advance, bands like UFO and Iron Maiden popularized heavy metal further, while the Police introduced a lighter sound. The reggae pop rock style of music energized listeners and popularized reggae as a style of music in Europe. On the other end of the rock spectrum, Iron Maiden supported West Ham United, a British soccer team, and caused a popular support for soccer in Britain. They were close to the owner of West Ham United, which therefore made the people like them even more. Now we will hear from one of the greatest bands of all time, Led Zeppelin.
Now introducing Led Zeppelin. Sawcheck, and I'm going to be interviewing Robert Plant. So, Robert, how has your band, Led Zeppelin, influenced others?
Well, people listen to our music because they like it, and our music and the style of the band has influenced the people of England a lot.
Would you say it's influenced their fashion as well?
I suppose if people like a band enough, then they'll end up wanting to look like the band members.
What are some of their changes that you've influenced in the style?
People tend to be wearing their hair longer and having somewhat tighter clothing.
So, this tighter clothing, it includes jeans, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
So, the skinny jeans, are they comfortable?
They're just as comfortable as anything else.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel that your band has support from the public? I know they're dressing as you, but are there other indicators of this?
Well, obviously the public supports our band because they've helped us to become one of the most popular bands in the world because of all the concert attendance and records sold.
Okay. And so you're selling a lot of records.
We are.
Okay. What bands and people have influenced you the most?
Well, mainly the two bands that have influenced us, I would have to say, are the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, mostly because they kind of invented British rock, but there's also a lot of other artists like Robert Johnson, John Lee Hooker, and maybe like James Brown that also influenced us.
Mm-hmm. And so you say the Beatles pretty much started rock. Is that true altogether or just in England?
No, really just English rock, because in America, Elvis Presley was kind of recognized for starting the rock genre, and then the Beatles and the Rolling Stones took it to another level.
Would you say Elvis influenced you at all?
Not directly, but through other English bands, then yes.
Okay. So, how has your music changed since you began as a band?
Well, we always try to incorporate new things, but we don't want to stray away from the old sound that got people to like our band. So every now and then we'll have other things incorporated into the music that'll sound different. We always try and get a strong rhythm in the music, but as a whole, we definitely try to stay with what we know and what we're good at.
Mm-hmm. So, is there anything new you're working on?
Our new CD, In Through the Outdoor, was released. Our most recent CD. It was kind of a while ago at this point, but that it was really popular, and people seemed to enjoy it.
You said it introduced new things. I heard there's jazz instruments being featured in one of your songs.
Well, in the song "Fool in the Rain," there's a saxophone part, which really is a lot like some Rolling Stones music, I guess, which could also show that they influenced us. But that's probably the most prominent change.
And are there any other songs you mentioned, like All My Love or anything, that you would like to comment